support networks to ease mothers back into the workforce, and using parenting and childcare leave interchangeably. These are some ideas that have surfaced in the ongoing National Review on Women's Development. The series of engagements geared towards gender equality announced in September will extend well into next year. As part of CNA's Year Ahead series, Ariel Lim sat down with those spearheading the conversations on women's development.
Safety, respect and equal opportunities. Fundamental principles the government wants to guarantee for all women and girls in Singapore.
In order for us to make sure that we're taking a holistic look in ensuring these principles, we're looking at it in terms of 4 different domains. At home, in schools, in workplaces and in the community.
She adds that women have progressed tremendously over the past decades, with a 96% literacy rate, 73% employment rate, and an equal number of women graduates coming out into the workforce. But it's time to take stock on how to further empower women. The conversations on women's development has had some common threads so far, including helping mothers transition back into the workplace. While students would like to ensure that women and girls are not objectified in this age of social media. Another key theme is how women tend to face more demands than men.
If we look at the data and studies, it actually shows that women take on more of the caregiving roles. So when we were looking at 5,000 children who are below the age of 7, 95% of them have their mothers as their primary caregiver. And out of this, 72% of the mothers are working mothers, which means that they actually tend to spend more time taking care of their kids.
Ms. Rahayu adds that women who care for the young or elderly sometimes neglect self-care, which can contribute to mental health issues.
One related issue is that of domestic violence, which the government says dovetails with the conversations on women's development, since it guarantees the safety and well-being of women and girls. The Family Violence Task Force, which convened earlier this year, will be releasing the outcomes of a research study by the Ministry of Social and Family Development. They looked into circumstances which may lead to risk factors for family violence, so they can work with social service organizations to boost efforts into preventing such violence.
Ms. Sun co-chairs that task force, which will be putting up recommendations.
We will look at how that fits in with the overall conversations on women's development. And if eventually there's a need for policy changes, legislation changes, we'll do so. And parts of it will also be incorporated into the white paper.
That white paper will be tabled in Parliament next year, and it's a culmination of the feedback from the engagements. The stakeholders have said that empowering women is not just about legislative changes, but also about cultural mindset shifts.
It's not a silver bullet or anything. I mean, policy has to really be able to reach out to the community as far as possible and go really deep. So it's not going to be an overnight change. So we're looking more at a slow change, more like a public health kind of concept, where we want to shape society to respect women.
What is coming out quite strongly, that it is not something that a government can do alone, that women can do alone. It's a whole of society effort.
We intend to have more than 100 of these conversations, and they'll be organized by schools, workplaces, by national stakeholders, by the women's organizations, and they will involve men, women, young and old.
Some men have already joined the conversations, and those leading the review are hoping for more of them to listen and contribute.